The stars themselves seemed to tremble. From the viewport of the command vessel Aurora, Evan Cole watched streaks of blue light spread across the void like veins through the body of the galaxy. Each pulse corresponded to a world once silent, now awake, restless, alive. Dr. Lyra Sen worked beside him, her fingers dancing over the navigation controls. "We're receiving planetary emissions from 6 different biospheres," she said. Veres, Oren, Jutha, Klein, Orelise, and one unidentified source beyond mapped space. Evan's jaw tightened. The last one's new. "They're resonating in sequence," Lyra continued. "If the pattern continues, the entire frontier could awaken within a cycle." The ship trembled as it entered the subspace corridor, light smearing into bands around them. "Captain Roth, report," Evan said through the comm. Roth's deep voice rumbled back. "We're holding course. But if one of those worlds destabilizes mid-jump, subspace will fold like paper. You'd better start calming your planets fast, Doctor." Evan allowed himself a small smile. "Working on it." Their first destination loomed ahead, Veres, the mining world turned living fortress. Its surface was in chaos, massive tectonic plates heaving, cities sinking into molten light, towers bending as if pushed by invisible hands. "Gravitational anomalies spiking," Lyra warned. "If we get closer, we'll be crushed." Evan activated the resonance array they'd built on the way, a network of emitters linked to the Foster frequency. "We don't need to get closer," he said. "We just need to be heard." The array hummed to life. The vibrations filled the ship, soft but steady, a pulse synced to Evan's heartbeat. Outside, space itself seemed to shimmer, the blue veins across the planet pulsing in time with the signal. For a moment, everything was still. Then a voice, vast, ancient, layered, echoed through every system, through the hull, through their bones. "Who speaks the old rhythm?" Lyra gasped. "It's responding to you." Evan steadied himself. "I'm not your enemy," he said aloud, though words were only half the conversation. "You're afraid. You think we came to harm you. But we're trying to understand." "You scar us," the planetary mind replied. "You dig and take and burn. We sleep to forget you." Evan closed his eyes. "I know. We've done terrible things out of ignorance. But sleeping won't heal you, it only hides the wound. Let us help you wake differently." "Wake?" "Yes," he whispered. "To grow. To breathe. To trust again." For a long, breathless silence, the only sound was the hum of the resonance array. Then the tectonic tremors slowed. The molten fissures dimmed from violent orange to soft gold. Across the surface, the massive plates began to settle like the heartbeat of something finally calming. "Gravitational field stabilizing," Lyra said in disbelief. "It's listening to you, Evan." He exhaled slowly. "Not to me, to itself. I'm just giving it a mirror." One by one, the other worlds responded. The Aurora jumped between systems, each planet unique, each consciousness wounded in its own way. On Oren, the world spoke in rhythmic pulses through ocean waves, repeating fragments of long-forgotten lullabies recorded by settlers centuries ago. On Klein, the living forests themselves answered with bioluminescent bursts that matched the resonance frequency. Each encounter left Evan weaker. Communicating through empathy wasn't like using language, it drained him, drew out his emotions and memories, left his body trembling. Lyra insisted he rest, but he refused. "They need to hear something human," he told her. "Not words, hope." By the 5th world, something extraordinary happened. The planets began communicating with one another through the resonance field, harmonizing their frequencies like notes forming a melody. The ship's sensors glowed with overlapping waveforms, each planet contributing its own tone. The sound, if it could be called that, resonated through space in a chorus of vibration. "The choir of worlds," Lyra whispered. Evan stood in awe. "They're healing each other. The lights in the cabin dimmed as the harmonics intensified. The resonance stretched beyond the visible spectrum, spilling into subspace, touching systems no human had ever reached. And then, a new voice joined the choir, softer, distant, but familiar. Evan Cole. Lyra froze. Did it just say your name? He nodded, eyes widening. That's Aurelise. You have done what we could not. You have reminded us we are many. The ship's instruments flickered violently. Energy readings spiked into the impossible. But something listens beyond us. Something that does not sing. Evan's heart sank. What do you mean? A silence coming. It moves between the stars. Before they could respond, the resonance field fractured. The lights outside dimmed. The choir's harmony turned to static. Lyra gripped the console. Something's cutting through the signal, something massive. Roth's voice crackled over comms. Doctor, we've got a new reading, unknown object inbound at superluminal speed. Whatever it is, it's not natural. Evan looked into the dark beyond the viewport, where the starlight had vanished. The silence was spreading. Auralis's final whisper echoed through the ship. You healed the living. Now face what is dead. And as the void swallowed the stars, Evan understood, something ancient and hollow was waking, too. The stars were gone. Where light once shimmered, there was only a vast, swallowing black. The ship's instruments flickered and died, their displays replaced by static snow. Every frequency, from visual to subspace, collapsed into nothingness. Dr. Lyra Sen's antennae vibrated in confusion. This isn't just a blackout, she said. Something's absorbing energy. Even background radiation is missing. Captain Roth's voice crackled over emergency comms. We've lost navigation. Thrusters responding, but we can't see what we're flying through. It's like space itself has stopped reflecting light. Evan Cole stood by the viewport, staring into the abyss. The choir called at the silence. Lyra turned sharply. You think it's sentient? I don't know. But it's not just emptiness. It feels intentional. The ship lurched violently, metal groaning under unseen pressure. Then, a sound, faint, rhythmic, like a heartbeat reversed, each thump pulling rather than pushing. The lights flickered again, and an outline began to emerge in the darkness. It wasn't a planet. It wasn't a ship. It was something between. A shape so large it seemed to bend perception around it, a hollow lattice of dark matter threaded with faint silver light. Inside it, stars flickered like trapped fireflies before being snuffed out. My gods, Lyra whispered. It's feeding on stellar energy. Roth's gravelly voice broke in, shaken. Doctor, that thing's the size of a system. If it moves any closer, we're done. Evan didn't move. Patch me through to the resonance array. What? Lyra snapped. You can't reason with that. It's devouring suns. Maybe it doesn't know what it's doing, he said quietly. Aurelise said it was dead. Maybe it's trying to feel alive again. By destroying everything. By filling the silence. Before she could argue, he activated the resonance system manually. The hum began, faint, broken, but familiar. The Foster frequency filled the air, spreading through the hull, out into the void. For a moment, there was no reaction. Then the black lattice shuddered. A voice, or something like one, spilled into the ship. It wasn't sound but sensation, emptiness made language. Why do you call to me, small pulse? Evan swallowed hard. Because you're hurting everything that lives. I end pain. I end sound. I make peace. No, Evan said softly. You erase it. I was born from silence. When the first stars died, I fed on their last breath. They called it entropy. I called it home. Lyra's reading spiked. Evan, whatever you're doing is pulling its attention directly onto us. Good, he said. Then it's listening. He took a slow breath. You're not meant to destroy life. You're the balance between beginnings and endings, not the void itself. Balance? The voice rippled, uncertain. There is only hunger. I am the absence between songs. Evan closed his eyes. Then let me show you the music. He reached for the resonance controls, boosting power beyond safety limits. The array screamed with energy, filling the void with harmonic light. From the ship's hull, waves of soundless color rippled outward, echoes of every planet that had sung in the choir. Orelise. Veres. Klein. Each one adding its voice, its pulse. The darkness hesitated. The lattice trembled, a deep vibration like a creature remembering its own heartbeat. So much noise, the silence murmured. It hurts. That's not pain, Evan said. That's life. Lyra's voice wavered. Power reserves dropping to 5%. Hold it steady. I remember, warmth, the entity whispered. Light that did not fade. Then take it, Evan said, tears stinging his eyes. Not as food, as memory. The void erupted in a storm of luminescence. Every sensor screamed. The lattice unfolded, disintegrating into streaks of radiant dust. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the darkness lifted. Stars returned, brighter, sharper than before. The galaxy exhaled. Lyra slumped over the console, gasping. Evan, are you? He was on his knees, pale, trembling, but alive. She remembered, he whispered. She. The silence. It wasn't empty. It was forgotten. Roth's voice came over the comm, choked with disbelief. Whatever you did, Doc, the readings are off the charts. Background energy stabilizing across the sector. Evan leaned back, eyes closed, exhaustion flooding him. It's over, he murmured. But then the comm crackled again, a faint voice, not Roth's, not Lyra's, not human at all. Thank you, for waking me. And just like that, the signal vanished into the stars. Lyra turned toward Evan, eyes wide. If the silence was only sleeping, she whispered, then what else might still be dreaming out there? Evan looked into the endless horizon, half fear, half wonder. Let's find out.